Welcome to Facebook Live. Ramadan Kareem. I'm Mohammad Rajamia, Managing Director of TCL Global. I becased Emma Payne from Hull University. I'm the International Development Manager. Thank you very much, Emma, for joining us today. And through this session, definitely our audience will learn about the University of Hull, the courses, entry requirements, scholarships, and the university, how the university operating in these circumstances. Thank you very much and welcome to Facebook Live, Emma.
Thank you very much, Ramadan Kareem. Thanks for having me here today. It's a really good opportunity for me to talk about the University of Hull, find out what questions the students have got for us or prospective students have got. Great opportunity. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. So if you please actually tell me how the university is operating in these circumstances and how the classes they're offering for the existing students, and what would be your advice potentially students who wants to apply for September intake?
Okay, so to start with, the university itself isn't closed. We're just what our Vice Chancellor is calling working differently. So anybody that can work from home, like myself, many of the academics, we're all actually working from home. We still have people on our campus, though. We've got students who are living in student accommodation. I actually know one of my Bangladeshi students that came this year. He's living in accommodation. I think he might be a little bit bored because of the lack of interaction with humans, but he's doing okay. Those students as well living in accommodation, if they're not able to go out and do their shopping and get their food, they've been able to order extra catering. So if they're on a catered package, then they've got that as normal and the food is delivered to their accommodation. If they want to go for extra food, so if they want their breakfasts and their lunch rather than just their evening meal, then they can also order that as well. So that's been really good. And I'm really glad that the university has stepped up and had staff available to do this. In terms of what's going on campus, security is still there. We're actually using some of our manufacturing facilities. So as a university, we've been helping our local situation, and the university has been laser cutting face masks. So we started with the 3D printing of face masks and visors, and then we've now moved into laser cutting because the laser cutting process is much, much quicker. And we've been aiming to go for, I think it's 20,000 full face visors a week. And so far, that's been going really, really well. And it's also been supported by our alumni, current students and staff making voluntary contributions to pay towards the materials that are used. In terms of what's going on for the current students, they're now into their third trimester. We're still in second trimester. Second trimester will end in June. The students now, they're getting online classes and they're leading up for their assignments and their final piece of assessment. What we've been looking at as a university is there will be no face-to-face exams because obviously in the UK we're on lockdown. So all assessments will be online, and they will either be a piece of coursework or there'll be some other kinds of assessments, but each course will be different. So it really depends on what the students are studying. In terms of the situation going forward for 2020, what our plan is that we're aiming for a September 2020 intake. We're hoping that we can actually have students on campus and we can start our classes like that. If not, then we're looking at other options. Do we have online courses? Or do we offer a January entry so that we can actually get students to come later? And there's lots of options happening, and the senior leadership team within the university are making the decisions about what we can provide for our students. So in terms of applications, they're still open. We're still processing them. Our postgraduate and undergraduate admissions teams are working from home. They've got access to the systems, so they're able to actually fully process offers as they would normally. I've been really impressed by how well this has been going. What we've been looking at is still being able to turn around a postgraduate application in around 48 hours, which is really, really good. So, students are getting their offers quickly so they can start to make decisions about what happens next.
I see. So that means that university most probably will go ahead with the September intake. There is a provision that university can do like a online.
That's what we're hoping, yes.
Yeah, okay, that's good. Thank you very much. So in terms of like South Asian students always ask our colleagues about the scholarship as well as the deadline, the amount. So if you can tell a little bit about that, please, Emma.
Yeah, absolutely. So our scholarships for South Asian students, they're actually fixed. We call them a studentship. Depends on what course that the students are studying. At undergraduate level, we have courses. So courses are either arts-based or they're science. Science students get a discount of £2,500, and then the arts students get a discount of £2,000.
Okay.
And that's actually for each year as well. So an undergrad student in arts would get a full studentship of £8,000, and then a student doing science and engineering courses, they'd actually get just got to do the maths now, £9,500.
Okay, that's a good amount.
Yeah, it's very good. Then, addition to that, you've then got the postgraduate students. All postgraduate students get £2,500.
Okay.
In addition to that, though, we also have our World Bank discount. And every country in South Asia, so it doesn't matter where you're from in South Asia, as long as you hold a passport from Bangladesh, from India, from Sri Lanka, from Nepal, wherever, then you would also be able to get our World Bank discount. That's an extra £1,000.
Yeah, fantastic.
So the undergrad students doing arts get £9,000 in total. The science and engineering students doing an undergrad program, they will be getting £12,500. And our postgraduate master's students get a discount of £3,500.
How about the deadline?
So these scholarships, studentships don't come with a deadline. The deadline for these are guaranteed. If you get an offer, if you enroll with us, then they will run. And they will also run, so they run for September entry, and they will also run for January entry in 2021 as well.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. I think it's really very useful information. So that means the students will be automatically awarded this scholarship once they hold the offer. That's fantastic. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think, Emma, we can go for the presentation, then we can come back again the question? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me see if I can get this up and running. Bear with me 1 minute. Great. Okay. I wanted to talk about some fun things about Hull, actually, and kind of what happens in our location. We're really lucky. This is a picture of the Humber Bridge. The Humber Bridge connects the city of Hull, where the university is based, to the other side of the Humber, which is North Lincolnshire. Okay. And as well as being quite an iconic structure in the UK's longest suspension bridge, great thing to do in terms of go down to the foreshore, go and see the sea, I wouldn't advise you swim in it. It's always way too cold. But a great environment to go and have a walk. So I'm quite looking forward to when I can get back out again and actually get down and see some water and have a good walk along the shore. You can also walk over the bridge. I've done that a couple of times. Not any good. If you don't like heights, don't bother. However, what this bridge does is it connects the city and it connects the regions together. Prior to us having the bridge, what we had is you had two lots of industry on the two different sides of the estuary, and they weren't connected. To get from one side to the other was an 80-mile journey. Now, 15-minute drive across the bridge and you're one side or the other. It's really good for any students that come and study with us. Lots of different types of industry on both sides of the estuary. On the south side, which is the side that we're on from this image, there's lots of import-export companies. There's companies that move cars. You've also got the petrochemical side as well. We have a facility called Catch, where our chemical engineers actually go and do training to see what it's like to work in a chemical engineering plant. That's based on the south side. They're also looking at creating something called ARC within the region. And ARC is a project where we're working with the Humberside Fire Brigade to look at building up flood resilience and flood defences within the UK. As I don't know if it's very well known in Bangladesh, but every year we get really bad floods in the UK, and lots of families are impacted by flooding. And this tends to be from rainwater rather than from things like tidal surge. Hull itself, though, actually sits on a floodplain. And if the sea levels rise, or if we have too much rain, Hull can be quite badly affected by water and the potential of flooding. So this new project that they want to build, the Ark, will be our flood defence, or be a facility that learns how to live with water and looks at how you protect yourselves in and creating flood defences. That's going to be on the south side of the river. So this bridge is really important to us as a region to make sure that we're connected, and to actually bring us together, bring our industries together as well. Here we go. Right. So this is the famous UK telephone box, and I'm hoping that some of our viewers will have seen a telephone box before. However, what they might notice is our telephone box in this picture is kind of a bit of a grey, creamy colour.
Yes, correct.
We say that they're white. They're not really white, they're more off-white. And the reason why we have these white telephone boxes in our area, we have our own telecoms company. So they're known as KCOM, and they provide Hull and the surrounding area with their telephone infrastructure and also their internet. And KCOM have made an announcement, a very bold claim, that within our region, if we were a country in our own right, we would actually have the fastest network in the world.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
So is the boxes everywhere in the city is the same color?
Yeah. So all the boxes in the whole of the city and some of our surrounding areas as well, they're all white.
Fantastic. Is it different? Is different from the rest of the UK, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. So it's really strange when we leave the city and you see a red telephone box. I'm always like, oh yes, they are red. Like I forgot that they used to be red. So, and we have so many.
Yeah.
I remember my father coming to visit me, and he said to me, he goes, I don't think I've seen so many phone boxes anywhere else in the country. And also, but some of the phone boxes are actually set up as hubs. So they're actually internet hubs. So the city itself has really good infrastructure. If you're a customer of KCOM, and they're the only provider in the city, so if you live in private accommodation, you will have a KCOM account. And you would be able to have a password that would actually link you up to the Wi-Fi in the city, which is fantastic. So when you're in the city centre, rather than having to use your data on your mobile, you can actually be using the network there, which is a really great thing. This is actually this particular phone box is quite close to the university, and I live quite close to the university myself, and I go through past this phone box a lot. So yeah, they're one of our great iconic structures in the UK. KCOM's really good though, because one of the things it also does is give students opportunity to work in different types of environment. We've had students that worked in their call centres. You can also, if you're interested in electronic and electronic engineering, then there's the potential of looking at working with them as well. So there's lots of different opportunities for students once they either while they're studying or once they graduate to look at KCOM as they're a big employer in the city, but they're also good for us to look at different types of engagement with our students as well. Right. No, so this is our aquarium. So this is called the Deep, and it's a really strange looking shape. It's kind of shaped like a ship.
Yeah,
it's like the ship bow. And it looks like it's almost completely on the water there. And actually where you're looking at is the city itself, Hull, is on the River Hull. And the River Hull leads up to the right and then, to the left. And then on the right side of the picture is actually the Humber. So this is where the mouth of the River Hull meets the estuary. Now, the Deep is fantastic. So fantastic attraction for students and all of the people in the city to go and see. It's an aquarium. It's got lots of different types of tropical fish. It also has what we call a submarium. So the submarium itself is it goes under into the local water, and actually you get to see the local marine wildlife. So you can go and see what is it that lives in the Humber estuary. And what we do there. They also have penguins there. So if you like a penguin, it's a great place to go and see a bit of marine wildlife as well. Now, not only being a fantastic tourist attraction in the city, it also houses our Marine Institute. So
Okay.
we do a lot of marine biology within the university, both at undergraduate level and at postgraduate. We look at the marine wildlife, we look at the impacts on of what's happening to the marine environment as well. And all of that research is done here at the Deep. So we actually have our Marine Institute. So if you've got students out there who are interested in studying either marine biology, or if a research area you're looking, or master's level, you're looking at the environment and you want to know how the environment works, you could be doing some of your research within this particular facility. Get down there and go and see how this works and see how we use this environment as well. I have to say, I love penguins and I've still never been. And the reason being is I spend a lot of my time traveling over South Asia. I come out to Bangladesh 2 or 3 times a year. I spend a lot of time in India, a lot of time in Pakistan, and I still have never been to the Deep. And now I've got that opportunity to be at home, but because of the coronavirus and the lockdown situation, I still can't go and visit the penguins. So I'm hoping that this summer, as we get back into some kind of normality, I'm going to be able to say I've been to the Deep, and I'm really looking forward to seeing students take the opportunity to go and visit there as well. It's actually in one of my favorite parts of the city. It's next to the marina, and there's been great industry has built up in there. There's lots of places to go out for eating, for drinking, for partying with friends, lots of things to do as well socially, lots of art galleries down there. So it's a really, really creative area and lots of nice things to do within the city, and a really vibrant area as well, where there are a lot of investments been going on too.
Fantastic.
So yeah, no, great place to be. Okay, so this is our port. And as you know, I've told you already, we're on the water. We love the water where we're from. And so the port, Hull Ports, is actually the UK's largest port complex. They ship vast amounts of cargo and passengers each year. They won't be shipping passengers at the moment, but I'm sure they're still working, and they're going to be bringing in lots of goods into the UK and then sending them off around the UK as we need them. So they're going to still be working down at the port.
They're connected to the Europe. Which part of the Europe they're connected?
They literally, I mean, in terms of like passenger, for passenger port, you can sail from Hull to Amsterdam or Rotterdam, and then you can also take the boat into Zeebrugge in Belgium as well. So it's an overnight crossing, and you can go and visit those parts of Europe, which is fantastic. So you literally go down to the port. Hull's not a big city in terms of square meters, so actually to get to the port from the campus would take you probably a maximum of 20 minutes, 30 minutes if there was a little bit of traffic. So it's very, very close. Also, for our students who are doing logistics and supply chain management, they get access to the port. So whether you're an undergrad student or if you're a postgrad student, you will get access to the port. You go down to the port, you will see how these facilities work. And because the whole of the city sits on the water, the port actually covers a really, really vast area. And there's lots of types of industry there as well. So it's not only, we've got kind of like the goods coming in and out. We've also got lots of, they literally ship in everything. There's kind of everything moving in and out, different goods and products. The other thing that we actually do is on our port, within our port complex, we manufacture wind turbines that go offshore. So we have Siemens Gamesa, who produce the wind turbines on the port side, on the almost on the quay itself. They then have their ships come along. The ships take the pylons upright, so these massive pylons that are several meters in the air land on the ships like this, and they go out to sea with these upright pylons, and then the sails will go with them. It's amazing. I've never actually seen a boat leave, unfortunately, but I've seen lots of footage of this, and it looks amazing. So these ships go out to sea and are able to then install their wind turbines. The university has a lot to do with the actually with the not necessarily just the manufacturing, but the research that's going in behind renewable energy. So this is one of the key areas where we're looking at, but also in terms of renewable energy as a university, we've been looking at lots of environmental projects. And some of those projects are very, very good at like looking at how we use renewable energies in terms of wind. They're looking at other types of renewable energy and working together with other universities and also with research institutes to make sure that as a region, we're really well set up to have a workforce that's trained to work in those areas as we go forward as well. So, yeah, it's just the port is a really vibrant, bustling area where a lot of things are going on, and they still will be today as well.
So already I'm receiving some questions from the audience. So
fantastic.
Once actually you finish, then we can jump into the question and answer.
Great to hear. I wanted to show a picture of campus because I've showed you a few areas around the campus and around the city, but I thought it'd be really nice to show campus. I won't say this is how campus is today, but this is certainly how campus has looked on a really lovely sunny day. So a really green and vibrant space to be in. If I do that, hopefully here we go. So as you can see, our library is in the middle and everything revolves around the library. We've got on-campus accommodation. We've got our sports centre on there. And then obviously all of our lecture rooms and all of our teaching spaces as well. Campus looks very large on this this picture. However, it's not. If you trying to see where it says on-campus accommodation over to the left. If you live in on-campus accommodation that's based over there and you come down to the business school, that's going to take you a maximum, I'd say, of a 4-minute walk. So it's very, very close. Right over to the right-hand side of the picture, then that's where a lot of we've got more student accommodation on campus there, and we've also got a lot of our private accommodation as well. The as kind of like the edge of the picture, that's going to take you 10-minute walk into the library. So you can see it's really, really compact. It's much more compact than it looks. Our student district is a 20-minute walk away over to the right, and that's where a lot of my students from South Asia live. So depends on the kind of budget. If you've got a good budget, then great, you can live on campus. If you're like, actually, I need to make my money go further, then living off campus in the student district is really good for you as well. So yeah, that's campus. As you can see, everything is on.
Just to add that yes, I visited as well personally the campus. It was beautiful. It's definitely, and yeah, unless you come to the hall, you will not imagine how beautiful campus is. You know.
Yeah, so I have to agree with you. I remember my first visit myself to campus. I've been. It would have been actually 3 years ago. Next weekend, and it's green and beautiful, and the ivy was growing up the red brick buildings. It was absolutely stunning, and it was a beautiful sunny day as well. I was really taken back by how lovely campus is to walk around. What I love about campus, though, the most, the thing that always amazes me the most, so outside, very traditional looking. Buildings were built in the 1920s, 1930s, 1940s, some in the 1950s. And then when you go inside, they're brand new.
Yes.
So the university is being like completely refurbished. Our library got refurbished in 2015. It's amazing in there. It's what I would expect from any UK. I've been to many UK universities. I've traveled around the UK to many UK universities, and it's what I expect to see when I go into UK university is the up-to-date, really modern facilities, and that's what you're getting. And that's the bit that I love. It's almost like the best of both worlds. It's the tradition on the outside, and then those really amazing modern facilities on the inside. So it's fantastic. I just wanted to end with this last shot of our city. It's an amazing picture that was taken of the city of Hull in 2017. And it just shows the heritage that we have as a city. We've been there for a long time. And the fact that this is on one of the, this is actually now one of the docks that we used to have. One of the quaysides used to actually have boats sailing up here. Doesn't anymore. It's actually a closed system. Apparently it has a lot of fish in it and a lot of eels as well. So you've got a shopping mall there to the left hand side of the picture, and then straight up in front in the middle of the picture you have our maritime museum. So fantastic heritage in our city, some amazing buildings to walk around in the city centre, and completely adds to what you're getting from the university as well. So Hull is just, I find it a great place to live, fantastic place to go and visit as well. We have some amazing things going on, and I think this is just one of those really amazing shots that we have of our city to show it off at its best.
Oh, thank you. Okay,
Great.
so we can take some pictures. Some questions as
yeah,
well. Okay.
Fire away with the questions.
More intake classes will take place in online. That is Talib Rahman.
Okay, so the plan is at the moment that we want students on campus in September. It's really going to depend on what the UK government are saying, and also then whether the students, like if Bangladesh says you can come out of lockdown and be able to leave. If you can get on a plane and come to the UK, then we hope that we're going to be starting in September in class as normal. As I say, if we can't start as normal, then what we can be aiming for is we are looking at, do we put on online classes, or do we say, right, defer your start until January when you can come to campus at that point?
Okay. Is there any opportunity to take a placement? If so, will the university organize this?
Okay, so you've got a couple of different options. It depends on whether you're an undergraduate student or a postgraduate student. Undergraduate students, many of our 3-year bachelor has the option to add in a 4th year, and then you take the placement during your 3rd year of study. So you go, either you can stay locally within Hull, you can look somewhere else around the UK, or you can look internationally as well, and you can do that. If as a postgraduate student, then we only have one placement course at the moment, and that's in business management. The placement itself is 4 months long. So the facilities that we have to help students find the placement is we have a career service, and also within our different faculties, we have placement teams. Okay. And it will depend on how many students are in that faculty to how big that placement team is. So in the Faculty of Business Law and Politics, which is where our placement for our business management with internship course will sit, then they have, I believe there are 3 people that help students find placement. Now, we don't guarantee placement, and we don't give you the placement. What we expect from our students is that you actually have to go and find the job, but we will help you look in the different companies. But you would have to apply for the job, you would have to go to the interview, and then be offered the job, and we would support you with that. So what we're looking at doing is we'd make sure that you know how to prepare a CV, you know how to attend an interview. You've got all of those skills that you need to be able to get the job. And actually in the UK, what we're looking for is people who are really skilled and really good at actually getting on their feet and getting things done themselves. But we will give you all of the skills that we can to help you get to that place.
I'm going to ask the question, what is the duration of MSc Business and Management in the Hull University? Okay,
so all of our master's degrees, apart from the course with the internship, are 12 months. And the way that students study them, I'm going to use September entry as an example. So if you come in September, you do tuition from September through to January. You will submit either courseworks and take exams at that point. Then you will start trimester 2. Trimester 2 is late January through to May. And you will take, at that point in May, June, you will do final exams or submit your final courseworks. Then for June, July and August is when you will do your research project. And your research project will then be submitted in September to the university.
Also, Emma, about the English test, we always been asked that about whether Hull will accept alternative English test or internal test, or there is a lots of university, Duolingo is also accepting. So, yeah, please.
Okay, so our current situation is that we accept the IELTS requirement for most courses, not all, but for most courses is 6.0, 5.5 in each. If students took an international pathway, so if they came in via IB or if they came in via A-level or IGs or O-level, we will take the IB English grade 5. Even if you did it, say, maybe 3 or 4 years ago, we will still accept that grade. The same for O-level English, we will take grade C. For IGCSE English, we will also accept grade C. We also accept a range of other tests, TOEFL, Pearson, those kind of things. What we've been doing, however, is we're aware of the Duolingo test. We've also been looking at the IELTS indicator test that students were able to register for this week. We've been looking at the TOEFL online test as well. At the moment, we don't accept them, but we're looking at these tests, and we are asking our academics to take a look at them and make sure that we think that they're a suitable level. Once we've got agreement that these tests are suitable level, then we will be sending out messages to either our offer holders or especially those that we know have unconditional offers, that these will be the alternative methods that we will use. Our website will be kept up to date, and if anybody has any questions, then we will also take inquiries at any time. Our email address is global@hull.ac.uk, and the students can always email in and ask the questions of what tests we're accepting at that time, and that will change. So I had a meeting today. We're going to look at some other tests as well. So we're making sure that everybody has lots of opportunities, and as soon as we get them online, then we'll be announcing that as well.
Okay. Yes, dear viewers, Hull University is a fantastic university. I have visited the campus, nice facilities, lots of students already studying there, good opportunity for you. So if you are planning to apply at Hull University, my team in Bangladesh, office in Dhanmondi and Sylhet can help you. Our service is completely free of charge. There is no application fee. And as Emma was saying, that university accepting the application for September intake. So please contact our local team. You can find out details in our websites and also in our social media page. And definitely, if you want to be in touch with the Emma as well, in some point, as Emma will be more than happy to connect with you.
Absolutely, yes.
Any specific questions. So Emma, final few words from you before we actually finish the live session. Yeah, Emma.
One of the things we didn't mention is that if you're not thinking about coming September and you're thinking that maybe I want to come in January, or actually you've still got another year of school to go or another year of university to go, then you can also start looking at 2021. So what we would call September 21 entry. So if you're thinking about that now, actually now is a really good time to look at your options. So go and talk to the counsellors in TCL Global. They can let you know what their options are there. You can also start to apply from now as well at postgraduate level. Undergraduate level, you have to wait until just after the summer. So you can start doing what I would call your homework. Start looking at what universities have got the courses that you want to do. What's your fee price? How much do you want to pay? What courses and what provisions they are offering you. Get lots of advice from your teachers, from your academics if you can. Also, go and talk to the counsellors. That's what they're there for. We train them all the time. We keep them up to date with what's happening in the universities. I recently met with TCL Global team online because I can't come out to Bangladesh. And we keep them up to date with everything that's happening. So they're a really good team for you to go and talk to and make sure that you've got the best advice and you can make the best informed decision going forward. Also, what you have to remember is it doesn't cost you anything to become informed. If you're not sure about what's going to happen in the next, kind of 6 months, 12 months, it's good to be informed and keep yourself up to date, and then keep your options open.
Thank you, Emma. Thank you very much for your time today. It was is very productive discussion today and presentations as well. I'm sure the viewers found very useful. And yes, any of the information is not clear or we missed, please contact our team. We'll be happy to answer your questions. And stay safe at home, and hopefully we'll overcome this difficult situation. Thank you.
Thanks, Mohammed. Thank you, everyone.